Welcome back to the World's Plains Knockout stage. Huni, is that the face of mercy? I think not. That is the face that wants to go 3-0, make its way with the World's group stage. Okay, that might be the face. That's the face of mercy at the end. Tanner, Damonte, he knows what time it is.
Who was it that used to do the staring competition? Was that Snoopy?
Snoopy used to do it.
Yeah.
Crepo also did it for a little while.
Did he take it? Was it Snoopy's thing?
I think it was Snoopy's thing and then Crepo took it. But
I hate those guys.
Do you?
They're just yoinking everything.
Sure. I don't think saying you hate Snoopy and Crepo on a Worlds broadcast is the best way to make friends.
That's probably right.
Yeah.
I think... My bad.
Well, going on from there, Clutch have decided they want to be on the blue side for this, what could be the final game of this best of 5. So far, they have looked pretty unstoppable on the blue side, let's be honest. RYL haven't had a way to answer them.
Yes, and the surprising thing is now in game number 3, they do have side selection, and going back to blue side, this could just be the run back time number 3.
But I think we've both said RYL really need to change things up if they're going to be able to do anything here, because Clutch have done exactly the same thing 2 games in a row, and they haven't had to change anything, because RYL haven't brought anything new to the table.
Yeah, really, like the only thing that did change from that second game was the Olaf ban that got substituted in for the third one. Rumble first pick instead of last pick there, and Huni looked the goods on that one. And it does kind of allude to, like, is this Rumble a problem? It's just guaranteeing early game top prio. You saw the segment with Frosk and Spawn just talking about it, like how they are attacking closer. And he's the guy that's been stepping up for this roster. He has been the one making things happen. And without a strong performance for their jungler in this series, Royal Youth, they just look like they're floundering.
They definitely are. Lee Sin and Qiyana, the first 2 bans here from Clutch. 2-0 up in this best of 5. Royal Youth will get rid of the Rumble.
Nice.
Off the cards. Not going to be picked up, but that does mean Syndra or Vulcan is making its way through.
Yeah, surely Syndra stays. Is this going to be another Olaf ban from Clutch? It is going to be the case. Rakan over Syndra would be interesting. Something extraneous being thrown into the mix could be another option, and maybe you do throw up something like that mage and then Clutch change their priorities. Okay, GP ban.
Okay, so the GP ban means that Clutch only get either Syndra or Vulcan.
Yes.
Which is the big thing here.
And
also, reduces the pool for Huni in that top lane. Syndra locked in. We have seen that flex, and we'll see where RYL go with their next 2 picks.
Yeah, and you do mention the pool for Huni, right? Out of all of the games before this best of 5, Huni had copped 2 of 3 of a Qiyana, or sorry, I should say Clutch, Qiyana, Rumble, or GP bans. So, we'll do the same here. Kai'Sa lock in with a Syndra available. Not sure if Cody Sun has learned that one recently, been able to pick that one up and throw it into the matchup, but that has been one of the successful ones. It looks like that won't be the case, and it is just blind here for Damonte.
I think that's fine. Cody Sun is much more of an AD carry player. He's played 1 game of Sona this split. Apart from that, everything he picks is AD carries. So getting an AD carry for him, it seems to be paramount. Syndra, as you say, locked in. There's the Rek'Sai, and now we'll see if the Thresh is Vulcan's choice, and it is.
Okay, taking that one away from Tolerant. Had a super rough game on it in the last one, and also Flay interaction with Jarvan. Can be super useful, so a lot of options open up here.
I'm honestly still surprised that Lira hasn't picked his Skarner.
Yeah.
He went 12-3 on it in the regular season, 9-1, I think, from playoffs through Gauntlet. So not picking it when it's been open every single time, it hasn't caused any problems for Clutch.
Yeah.
Right? They're playing through the early game, they're putting pressure around top, that's fine. But it's just surprising to me when you have such a champion that you're so strong at.
And I think it is really the fact that pre-level 6 doesn't offer much. Like, Skarner into Jarvan is a pickable champion. You get to that level 6 mark and in later team fights, even with a Gargoyle, Jarvan very often just dashes super far ahead of the rest of his team. He's like a solo diver there, and then you just ult him up, take him back into your backline. He gets 1 hit and the team fight is yours. So not the most surprising that Clutch index a little bit earlier on that early game advantage, and you don't see him so much, but...
So now we have the Orianna locked in for cyeol, and then the Aurelia ban. Lots of focus up towards that top side. We have seen Armut, of course, play the Kled. He also plays Gnar and Jayce pretty well, so there's some options left for him. Rakan taken away by Clutch. They don't want that Kai'Sa-Rakan combo we see so often. But things like the Nautilus are still up.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Tolerant goes towards that.
And you can see with their last ban as well, LB being thrown at Damonte, they're not certain that this Syndra is just going to be the mid matchup. They're trying to force it. Orianna versus Syndra. years ago was like the staple, just
So
control
every
mage
game.
matchup. Yeah, and it's like, okay, like pre-level 6, Ori has the advantage, and then kill pressure comes online when you get that ulti as Syndra, but has changed over the course of time, and they're not willing to throw 5 bans at Huni, leverage it somewhat. Oh, okay.
Okay.
we go.
That's an aggressive bot lane. I like this from RYL. They're saying we have to change things up. Let's pick the Blitzcrank. Buffed, of course, on 919. So strong, he even needed a little bit of a hot fix, bug fix, where he was picking people from too far away.
Yeah, I believe they removed some of the lollipopping. That's when skill shots get bigger at just the end of their range, so it allowed him to take things like blue buff from the river.
Yeah, it was pretty disgusting, I have to admit. Lucian will be the lock for the bottom side. Clutch going for the Thresh Lucian lane. This does open up very strong ganks early on for closer on the Jarvan, because the level 2 gank towards mid, Syndra's so low mobility, can be quite easy for him to be caught out.
Yeah, certainly could be the case. The Lucian lock-in for Cody Sun, I like that a lot. Having a dash against a Blitzcrank lane. Look, it doesn't even need describing.
Lucian
That's super
top.
useful.
It's Lucian top.
Okay, yeah,
Or
all right.
is it Ezreal top? Or is it Syndra top?
It's
Who
definitely going to be Lucian top.
Huni juggles everything. Are you sure?
I'm fairly sure.
Okay.
99%.
How much would you bet on it being Lucian top?
I'm not a betting man.
Okay. Well, that's ruined.
Just really shut you down.
Ruined the whole conversation.
Yeah,
That's fine.
bad luck.
Royal Youth, where are they going to go? Top laner left.
4 seconds. Do they match with like Triss? Cassio? That could be one. Okay. Timeout. Jayce. Okay.
So Jayce is Armut's, one of Armut's most played. He's played 4 times.
And I believe one of his most winningest champions in their qualification series over the likes of players like Frozen and Huni, and Wolf. The imports on Supermassive, an organization you will know. Armut had a monster performance in their game number 5 to clinch their place at Worlds. And now 1 game away from going home, locks that into Huni.
So I'm holding my breath. We have 6 seconds left. And you might be very happy you didn't bet in a moment's time.
No way.
It's Ezreal top.
Okay.
It's Ezreal top.
Alrighty.
Okay, Huni's bringing out the big guns for this game. Of course, being 2-0 up, you can experiment, you can take a few risks. Ezreal into Jayce, I will be honest. A matchup I have never seen before. One that I'm not too experienced on, but we'll see how that develops. Give me a rundown of how you expect the early game to go for these 2 teams.
Well, I mean, like, let's talk about that Ezreal versus Jayce, right? Like, they do similar-ish things in terms of throwing the Lucian there or the Ezreal. Ezreal can be much more negative, much more effectively. Lucian will require resources. Up on the top side, and it does kind of skew things, this one. This is a much harder team comp to execute from Clutch. Double 80 carry, again, yes, but they don't have an equalizer. That was really the proactive move that gave them a lot of their plays. It was Huni with Prio. He rotates over and then forces the fights for them. This is back to the experimentation that Clutch were doing through the group stage, and now with confidence of a 2-0 series scoreline right now, Royal Youth going to have to answer back.
This is the time to be a little bit confident, a little bit arrogant perhaps, and pick something like the Ezreal top. I'm sure, of course, Huni has practice on it, but it's just not something we commonly see. 1 game stands between Clutch and Worlds groups. And Royal will be looking to reverse sweep. They have to win all 3 of the next 3 if they're going to take it. Tolerant is up towards top side right now.
Blitzcrank doing the old cyeol strat, but on the other side of the map. He's got his wheels. He's just zooming towards that bush. Doesn't want to go for the 3rd one, but...
Does he stay here?
Oh, he's going for the deep flank. Okay, they're thinking Huni is in that bush in the river. Fortunately for him, standing much further down, but...
So, yeah, I think Tolerant has to back here, otherwise you have too long, where Pilot is by himself down towards the bottom side. And against a Thresh and a Lucian, you can just be harassed down so easily on that first wave.
And it really didn't cost them anything, right? In terms of level 1, Clutch aren't the strongest, so they're not looking for any early bot side invades or anything like that, so Tolerant goes up. You could have forced the E start from Huni. If he'd already leveled an ability, you could have forced the flash over the wall. And if he fails both those things, that could have been a first blood, right? So the opportunity cost them next to nothing, and we'll just walk back towards the bottom side. As the little Blitzcrank that he is.
There might be a really late invade here. It's actually not going to happen. I saw Lira and Damonte teaming up and trying to push up towards this red buff from closer, but they just get a ward in. And so they won't go for the invade. Lira will start his blue by himself. Closer will start his red by himself. And it means neither jungler will be spotted out early on.
Yeah, and you saw for just a second Ezreal, Huni, rotating down the river and saw that the Jarvan was actually starting in lane, pulling that one. That is a very nice ward, going to stop out any form of level 2 shenanigans here. Huni does have a point in the queue, so no E to get himself to safety. He knows exactly where closer is on this top side of the map.
Definitely does. Closer, as you say, spotted out on the ward, unable to get that level 2 gank he was looking for. Huni is running Kleptomancy on the Ezreal top, as you would expect.
Classic.
Taking some notes out of perhaps Nuguri's book, saying, oh, well, I want to run Kleptomancy, but I'll do it on a champion that usually does it instead of something like the Camille.
It's also just Ezreal, right? So not a lot of rune choices to be had up there. Maybe if you're going like an AP build, you could potentially look for something else, but it's kind of the expected play. I want to kind of take a look at this bot side matchup. The reason Blitzcrank is picked here into the Thresh is that it negates Vulcan's ability to be a hook Thresh. This is something I talk about. Being a Lantern Thresh as a Thresh player, it's no fun.
It's nowhere near as fun.
You just walk around, you got your Moby boots, you're just saving your jungler wherever he goes in. It's a tunnel forward from Lira and then a Lantern back to safety. Because if you charge up the hook, it has a charge up time, whereas just as you saw, Tolerant presses the button, goes out, hook comes back immediately, and if you do try and be proactive in the matchup, you do just get straight up punished to the 2 versus 2. Now with the extra range is that little bit more effective, and Tolerant showed it in the group stage in their Fiora game. They split pushed their way to victory. It's not his first time even playing it on the world stage.
Definitely not. And as you were saying, the hook from Blitzcrank just that bit quicker than the hook from Thresh, so it means you can counteract the enemy hook. I have asked our stats team to research some Ezreal stats for me.
Okay.
Do you want some knowledge bombs here?
Yeah, let's go.
Last time Ezreal was played top in a non-troll game, so a game that had meaning. 2015 LMS qualifiers. It did not win.
That's a longie. Okay.
The last time it won was 2012 Champions Spring in Korea. So
7 years ago.
7 years ago.
God.
It's a long, long time ago. Huni's most played champion, though, in solo queue on EU West has been Ezreal. 71% win rate over 35 games. So he's had a lot of practice on this champ in the top lane.
I'm assuming that is a reasonable mix of AD carry and maybe some top lane gains here and there. I wouldn't expect that many games to be thrown towards Ezreal in the top lane, but
you never know.
If anyone was going to do it, it would be Huni.
He's constantly the experimenter. I still remember, Cassiopeia, Lucian top, both of those his inventions mostly. Although I'm sure he took inspiration from some places. Lira did come up towards the mid lane here.
That's actually the hardest thing with calling people like his invention. Because scrim culture happens and we don't get a look in.
That's why he took inspiration from other players.
And
he's
then
the
it's
one
like,
that made it famous.
It's like, player X is just grinding Cassio top for literal years and then isn't the first one to play it on stage. And you're like, oh, man.
Oh, see. Flash in, hitting Vulcan in the bottom lane. Looking for the Lantern onto Cody Sun. Tolerant to get the knockup. Pilot ticking down. Should be an easy enough kill here for Clutch. Burst blood to Vulcan. And now they're looking for the chase on Tolerant. Another play. The hook doesn't land, though. And Tolerant still has the mana barrier. Cody Sun able to dodge away.
And perfectly played there from Clutch. They get the 2v2. Pilot loses his heal, doesn't blow his flash, and at the end of the day, Cody gets lanterned forward, so didn't even have to use his dash, his relentless pursuit, so can get away from Tolerant. The only real scary thing against a Blitzcrank when he's underneath his turret is that hook into turret, so if you have the dash available, super easy. And now this bottom side of the map for a series that has been decided on the other side is a super good start here for Clutch.
Getting Cody ahead is so instrumental for Clutch as they get towards those mid-game fights. And right now, we've yet to see Closer have an effect on the map, and in a pure 2v2, they know the hook's down, which is very important.
And you see the immediate punish. Vulcan, Flash Flay gets both lanterns over the top, and Tolerant kind of maybe had a window if you can hook the lantern that could have been a flash away from the Kai'Sa.
But because you know the hook's down.
Yeah.
So
actually, 100%. Wasn't even available. Okay.
Here. Lira might go in for it with the Void Rush. Gets the Unburrow knock-up. The scat of the week is monumental. Damonte gets the kill in mid. And Clutch once again off to a flying start in this game.
Yeah, second to the play. Counter gank is easy there for Lira, and the Mobies from Vulcan gets him to the mid lane off the back end as well. Tolerant in the area, but multiple lanes. 6 minutes into this one, already 2-0 start. 1,000 gold is the lead, and Clutch continuing to dominate.
It's so difficult for RYL to do anything about this. Haven't seen Closer really able to get those ganks off. Level 2 was stymied by Huni and Lira in the top lane, and now there's 1,500 gold lead for Clutch. Very difficult for the Turkish representatives to get back in this one.
So we'll take another look at what happened. Damonte holds his flash on the shockwave, and Closer coming in just gets dodged out very easily. Remember, Hail of Blaze there from Lira. Stun from Damonte is a very easy cleanup, and just well executed. Holding their nerve, not blowing summoners when they don't need to, and punish a Swift.
Whole level advantage now for Lira over Closer. Has 10 extra CS as well. Lira now level 6 has the Void Rush if they want to go for a fight. But for the moment, it looks like Clutch just want control of this bottom side river. Tolerant's going to land the hook here onto Vulcan. Vulcan, no flash. There's a blast cone there as well. But Tolerant's going to knock himself straight into Cody Sun. The hook lands from long range. Onto Closer. And now Tolerant is in the worst of shapes. Has to flash away.
And how did he hook Thresh over the wall? Gets blast plant forward and has to flash to safety. That is a disastrous scenario. Vulcan just somehow walks away with it.
Yeah,
He's happy.
I mean, the thing was, you could see it happening. I could see it happening. So Tolerant should have been expectant of it. Was trying to get to the blast cone first, but Vulcan very happy just to knock him back into his team. Means that Blitz no longer has the flash. Of course, is running Hex Flash, so has a couple of options, but very hard now to have that instantaneous flash hook.
Yeah, and every time the hook is down, the punish is there. That was straight up 1 versus 2. Oh, okay.
I mean, Armut has a 100% win rate on this Jayce, so Huni is suffering the consequences of that. You've got Serrated Dirk already finished in that top lane. True Shot Barrage will clear out the way, but Armut will be looking to start knocking down plates up towards this top side.
And that's kind of the thing, right? In terms of Jayce, hold that thought, okay.
You need to hold that thought, because Tolerant is ignited and ticking down, and he's going to fall again. The clutch bottom lane is just destroying RYL right now. Pilot can do nothing about it. Cody Sun going in, the killer instinct, not quite enough. Vulcan stepping forward, hook just millimeters wide.
And another 2 versus 2 kill. They cannot quite find the second pilot on a sliver of HP.
Almost has
deciding
heal back
whether he
up.
sticks around in this one.
Cody Sun with the bait. Cody Sun! Goodbye, Pilot!
And Lantern out of turret range. Another plate off the back end, and this bottom lane is just going from bad to worse. The CS lead is not there, but kills all over the place. This can't be happening for RYL. You saw Armut forcing the flash from Huni on the top side. The Jayce just being more effective at what he's doing right now on the Rift, but bottom lane is bleeding.
10 CS behind, already 0-2 on the Kai'Sa. There's about 700 gold behind in that lane, and Essence Reaver on its way for Cody Sun. Top lane is the place to be for both the junglers, as Lira perhaps caught out just a tad here by Closer. The knockup's going to land, there's a Cataclysm as well, and here comes Armut, first kill of the game for RYL. They find one in the top lane.
Just greedy pathing from Lira, gets spotted out, flash commit from the Jayce, and very easy cleanup. Playing around the Ezreal with no flash, no ability to play through is a difficult one. See how this happened.
Oh, he hooks a minion.
The switcheroo. Tolerant getting desperate with a Hex Flash there, and Vulcan just predicts, he knows where he's going, looking for the hook around the minions, and that is not going to be it as we speed through. The hook goes just that little bit wide, but the damage calculation, yes, heal is available in a second, but Pilot, no pot ticking, just dies.
Yeah, Huni can just jump away from this, doesn't have the flash. It's actually gone Cull for that little bit extra gold in his back pocket. Has obviously been learning from our first series of the day.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, think about this top lane matchup. Both of them want to play at range, but in terms of itemization, it's a tier Cull versus a lethality spike there for Jayce. Armut is going to be much stronger, much quicker in this game, and they do play similar things. Vulcan.
Very close to getting the Jarvan out of his EQ combo. Vulcan coming up here with the flash now. Once again, it's clutch gaming, guys, and 10 minutes are on the clock, so it's time for Rift Herald. Okay. Tolerant could look for a hook across this wall. Pretty easy to hit those now. Huni takes a bit of a chunk of damage. Lira there, tanking up the Rift Herald. cyeol on his way. Right, so on the way down as well. Tolerant unable to connect. He's in the box now. Caught out in the midst of all of clutch. And Tolerant is having a nightmare of a game.
Yeah, that was a train wreck. Thresh through the queue. The hook could have landed, guaranteed flashless on Vulcan, but comes a little bit too late, gets flayed into multiple members. Now Rift Herald and the kill goes over. Lira able to pick that one up. Shepherding through his top side as well, has been dinged. Uses the double sweeper as well, so looking to clear out some of that ward. Got the reset off the cooldown, and this is going to bash in. More gold going to Cody Sun.
2,000 gold ahead now. As you say, those plates fall on the top side. Clutch extending that lead piece by piece, bit by bit. And really, RYL really struggling to do anything about it. Tolerant, their key man in terms of catching people out, is once again almost going to fall. The culling doesn't quite connect. But it is a bit of an odd one here. If I asked you at the start of the day who would have a more convincing series, would it be Damwon or would it be Clutch?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would have said Clutch, but they have been just devastating in this best of 5.
Absolutely, you can hear applause from the audience. Huni was also the one to be gifted the plates on the top side, so demanding some of that gold. And this is the interaction. Hook now, whilst he's locked in the animation, but Aftershock buys Tolerant a little bit of time, but he's going absolutely nowhere. And once again, this is the expected play. It hurts.
It's gotta hurt. It's gotta hurt. When you see one of your players that you've coached through thick and thin, you've coached through the entirety of 2018 struggle to find his mark. 2019,
2018,
sorry.
I was like, hey.
I've gone back in time there for a second. Now, Lira perhaps caught out. Tolerant is going to land the hook this time, but Vulcan's on the way with the play. Armut coming in from the side. Lira goes in with a Void Rush, and Tolerant once again the man to fall. Ignited. Lira, one Praise Seeker to find his mark, and another kill goes down. cyeol trying to come across to help his team out. It's a 4v3. Lira's going to walk away, making it a 3-for-3 in this bottom lane. Vulcan with the Cataclysm coming out and closer. Goes down. Vulcan stopwatches the shockwave, and RYL just can't get anything to go their way. Cullen coming out. cyeol forced away underneath the tower, and this will be the second tower of the game for Clutch.
And the difference is committal. TP comes through. Huni lands at the play, but RYL just stutter stepping all over the place. Damonte being left alone in mid lane, just pushing that way further and further. 13 minutes, the second dragon getting taken as the turret dies as well. Double 80 carry duo able to pick that one up, and Clutch, the games are just getting quicker and quicker as the series progresses.
Such good play here from Clutch. RYL, of course, knocked out Flamengo in the group stage as well. They're probably commiserating with the Brazilian brothers right now at a 7-1 scoreline. We'll see this once again. Tolerant uses the hook very early on.
Yeah, and I didn't see before this play happened, did they know they were in the bush? Because hook onto a Rek'Sai gets a double knock-up. Lira burns the flash to get the cleanup of the back end, and in just a second, like the culling comes through, they're just fishing for damage on the turret. You can see on the minimap as well, Kai'Sa catching top underneath her own turret, leaves Damonte alone, so bottom side is losing. Syndra is getting free gold off the opposite side of the map, and everyone from RYL just dancing around, not willing to commit to the play. And with a Blitzcrank composition, you have to go for that.
You really do. Vulcan's been absolutely on point with this Thresh so far this game. Playing around Tolerant very well. Of course, Tolerant has been making mistakes. We are up towards those first completed items. Essence Reaver on Cody Sun. Luden's Echo finished on Damonte. He's got a lot of damage already on this Syndra. And look at the plate differential. RYL actually getting 7 plates surprises
that's
me,
the surprising thing.
I guess a lot of that is through Armut in the side lane, just pushing into Huni over and over again. 600 extra gold for Clutch across the course of those first 14 minutes. They are 5,000 gold ahead at the 15-minute mark, an absolutely dominant performance by them, and now they're just looking to open up this mid-tower. Yeah,
and the real problem is that the Jayce was an avenue to play through. He should have had a gold lead, but because of Klepto, because the plates have been gifted to Huni, is actually basically dead even between the Jayce and the Ezreal. He was getting flashed on underneath his turret, losing his own flash in the hands of Huni, and goes back, buys a Tear and a Cull. Should not have been relevant for a very long time, but because Clutch have found the ability to force around their bottom lane, Cody Sun and Vulcan coming up huge in this last game just means that super difficult to find anything, and 6k gold lead, 15 minutes.
It has just got better game by game. Like, Clutch have just played similar compositions, similar styles, game by game, and RYL have never had an answer. And obviously a lot of credit goes to Clutch. They played it very well.
Yeah.
But RYL, the answers they've looked for just haven't been effective.
Yeah, this game, third game, has been all punish.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just off the back end of plays, the 2 versus 2 in the bottom side, every time hook is down, they punish the Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank looks for a pick. They look to punish, they bring the TP. Huni comes down. This is Clutch just being all over the place right now, and options looking slim. It's 8 kills, only 15 minutes in. There's almost nothing to play for right now. They're just pushing in the side lanes because mid lane is really all that's left. You can see exactly the setup here from Clutch Gaming. Bottom side pushed in eventually. Top side will be the same thing, and eventually that should give them the rotate towards mid. But it's a multi-step process, and until they can bring all their members, the wave clear will be there. But at this stage, it just does look like an inevitability here from Clutch.
It definitely does. Of course, RYL Youth on the receiving end of a shellacking this game. You do want to remember where they came from. The first time this organization has been to Worlds, the first time any of these players have been to the World stage, beating Supermassive 3-2 in their grand finals. The team that we usually see from Turkey. You want to give them some credit. They fought hard. They were able to take the tiebreaker over Flamengo after coming in to that second day of games at 0-3, but 0-2. It's just such a challenge when you meet up against a team that have more experienced than you and that have this playstyle so refined.
Yeah, right. And let's think about it big picture. The TCL as a region as a whole, we've seen so many representatives, and you can go super far back. Like we've seen DP, we've seen Supermassive recently, we've seen 1907 Fenerbahce, we've seen Besiktas as well. Like this is actually one of the stronger emerging regions in terms of international performance. And yeah, right now struggling against Clutch. It is the potential last game of the season, and if this is it, will be a disappointing way for Royal Youth to bow out of the tournament, but they've shown so much success, the creativity. The Blitzcrank has already won them a game in the group stage. Certainly not the place they want to be, but for their first time on the world stage.
Yeah. When you have something like a Blitzcrank, the chance for an upset is always there. One hook is all it really takes to find your connection, but Vulcan is the one with the hook. Vulcan is the one who sentences cyeol to death, and now Clutch can just pushing a 4v5 mid, double AD carry on their side. RYL trying to answer back. It's Armut who gets the damage in from the side. There's another hook that connects. It's Vulcan pulled in, and here goes the damage. Clutch trying to fight it out. 4v4 right now. Pilot jumping in with a killer instinct, but he is immediately focused down, and Cody Sun flashes forward and takes down his enemy man.
Clutch just take everything. Double turrets, double picks off the back end, and the one hook that does land brings Rek'Sai into the back lines. Play from Vulcan is able to clean that one up, and now Dragon going to be the triple ocean off the back end, and Clutch just demolishing this one.
Third ocean of the game here. Clutch basically gives you the same healing as a Warmog's armor when you are out of combat. Very difficult to play around. Infernal's next as well if the game gets that far, but right now Clutch are looking unstoppable. cyeol, it's a great hook again from Vulcan.
Yeah, and it's exactly what I just talked about, right? Bottom lane will push in, top lane will push in. All 5 members rotate to the play, they find a hook, and now without Orianna, wave clear is difficult. Big stun from Damonte. Hooks traded between the supports here, I misspoke, was not the Rek'Sai, but that's just a multi-man play off the back end, and very nice usage of the stopwatch means that Pilot gets punished off the back end. Cody, this game has been super on point, instant reaction, and coaching staff super happy with that one.
Right, it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. One of them very happy. Oh, like, could have been slightly better, but I'll take a 7,000 gold lead at 19 minutes.
Yeah, we take those.
Cody Sun 5-0-3 at the moment on this Lucian, has the Infinity Edge complete alongside that Essence Reaver, and Baron is up in just a few seconds time. With Triple Ocean, it's actually a lot easier to take the Baron because you can regenerate while it is damaging you. It's only damage from enemy champions that stops that regeneration. Now Huni's going to match up straight into Armut. Misses the Mystic shot.
Does have chase potential, of course. Jayce, not the most mobile champion, does have move speed, but against a Frozen Fist, if Huni does land that beginning Q, then certainly could eventuate into a good situation. Even with the CS deficit on the top side, you have to think by now the plates, the global gold, Huni is probably up in gold easily. And yeah, he's exactly the case. 500 up in the isolated 1v1, has been gifted so much this game. And Clutch game with a 4-1 split now, just taking more turrets off the map.
In a strong position overall. And you can hear the round of applause from the crowd, because this is basically what we've seen the last couple of games. Like, it's a muted round of applause. A little bit of cheering. But the expectation here for Clutch is they close this one out pretty easily. That's what they've done the last couple of games. 7,000 gold ahead at the 20-minute mark makes it very difficult for RYL to find anything out of it. And it would need to be multiple plays from Royal Youth. It'd have to be multiple catches. You know, you're catching at least 2 or 3 people to really get these plays working. Armut's trying to fight against Huni, but Huni wins that. 1v1, Huni does what he does best and takes out the enemy top lane.
And he doesn't even have to base. He's got a Vamp Scepter, he's got Triple Ocean Dragon. So sitting on 20% HP will just remain on the bottom side of the map. And remember, it is after 20 minutes, but the Baron hasn't been even looked at this point. They're just breaking everything with all of their members. Stun is going to land. Afraid of the Blitzcrank hook, but pushing forwards meant that Cody was left alone with an Infinity Edge, with a basically completed Zeal item after this reset in the Essence Reaver. He is a monstrous Lucian, left alone with a turret. Makes easy work of it.
And right now, Clutch in the ascendancy. It's been a really strong couple of months from them. Of course, their start of their summer split was pretty bad. We'll talk about that after we watch Huni outplay Armut. So Armut goes for this, and Huni's just like, well, good flash.
Yeah. Flashing, trying to flash over some damage. I think that, of course, can be buffered, but
that's one of those plays where in real time, you don't see all of the intricacies in it. And so, it's one I'd watch back at, 25% speed and really see the exactitudes of when the auto attacks come in, how much does he get away from. But yeah, Clutch over the last couple of months have looked like a team transformed. Their summer split very, very disappointing at the start, and then they really started to come into their own. Of course, taking Team Liquid to 5 games in the semi-final in NA, then managing to fight their way all the way through the gauntlet, beating TSM in the reverse sweep. And I think this is kind of the culmination of that for the moment, making it there into groups. Of course, their expectation will be they can take some games in groups, but the likelihood of them getting into Group C and going up against SKT, RNG, Fnatic is quite high in the way that the groups work out.
And I think the big thing, hold that, Vulcan.
Blade comes out, closer, pops a stopwatch. Pilot's going to jump in, they're looking for the damage to Vulcan. That's one down, with the rest of Clutch are here now. Huni's joined in with the teleport, it's a 5v4. RYL might want this. If Tolerant can find a hook, they can still go for the fight, but look at how low RYL are, and look at how much regen Lira is getting. Already almost back up to full HP.
And the wave's already pushed in both side lanes. RYL Youth have to commit all of their members to try and find a pick, and even when they do in this situation, Flash Ignite gone from Vulcan, they cannot get any of the control back on this one. cyeol cancel.
cyeol had to be healed. The damage from Huni with that Blade of the Ruined King, a single auto attack, almost takes down the enemy Syndra. Armut is backing here in the bottom lane. Should be able to get away, just to escape.
And to your point, right, I think the big thing from Clutch is that they came into their own. Those are your words, and 100% agree.
Yep.
Qualification for group stage worlds here. Huni playing Ezreal top into Jayce. Nothing could be more Clutch than this situation, right? And that was the success for a roster with a young NA mid laner like Damonte. Being able to play the champions you're good at cannot be understated.
Oh, okay. Incredible hook there from Damonte. Cataclysm comes up. Talk about NA mids.
There we go.
Damonte, the man to hang your hat on right now. That's Tanner time.
That's what you like to see. I don't know how the shockwave didn't pull him out of Lantern, but he made it.
Sometimes the coding goes in your favor, and that seems to be what happened there. But the reactions to flash away from the hook, get away from the Cataclysm, just enough range.
Yes. And that's one of those things, right, where he flashed forwards. You see it with Xayahs all the time. It's just a reactionary click of the button.
Yeah.
You don't want to like flash in a direction. You're not thinking about it. It's just I need to flash wherever my mouse currently is, and that time flashing forwards towards the Blitzcrank doesn't sound like a good time, but gets himself to safety here. Vulcan rotating over. I mentioned the Lantern Thresh at the start of this game hasn't been that for the majority, but in the right place, in the right time, and saves his mid laner. Now breaking the base without the use of Baron buff.
So RYL are giving up a little bit of pressure on their mid lane to have Armut push in bot, but right now it's really not working out too well for them because Huni and Cody Sun can just chip away at this inhibitor very easily. Armut's still pushing in for the tier 2 bot lane. It looks like Damonte has the TP, could join his team here, but RYL really unable to hold on to the inhib right now. Should fall pretty soon. Huni just needs one more auto on it.
Of course, Ezreal can actually buffer the Blitzcrank hook. I like the play here from Vulcan. Just throwing a Lantern forward should allow your AD carry to stand on the Lantern. As soon as there's a response, then you just take it to safety. And once again, I'll say it all without Baron buff. No team fights whatsoever. 25 minutes, they've broken the middle inhib of this game. And Armut's only trade with the bot lane in a turret.
And now you get control of the enemy jungle as well. Armut actually caught out here. Huni's going to jump straight in and doesn't even need Lira's help to clean this one up. Lira will take it in the end. A bit of a KS there from the Rek'Sai. It was all Huni's doing. Armut no longer can trade 1v1. Huni's actually out-farmed him this game, even after falling behind early on.
Certainly true. Is easy when you're winning.
Yep.
I'll say that. You get access to more fun. Armut has been grouping up with the rest of his team somewhat and been starved of resources, but certainly coming back online. You can see actually the pings on the minimap right now. Right here on top of that ward, they know where it is.
Yeah, it's been there twice.
2 games in a row. RYL Youth have found a way to place that without it being denied. And
no one pulls Clutch Gaming 3 times in a row.
Yeah, it's not going to be it. Lira doesn't have a sweeper just yet, but
yeah, there's a couple of control wards. Damonte has 2. Vulcan has 2. The only problem is I think Vulcan's is actually sitting deep in the jungle.
Supports are kind of that role, supports and junglers, where you have the most freedom on the map. Yeah. So it tends to be like, okay, solo laners, maybe your AD carry, places a pink ward in the pit because you expect it to stick around for a long time. And as Vulcan walking out of base, placing a pink just to clear a ward you know that is there, and then placing it immediately somewhere else, like that's not a foreign concept. That's something that happens all the time in professional play. So clearing it out Doesn't make a lot of sense
play
here.
during the days when supports just bought wards. That was all we did, right?
That was fun, to be honest.
I quite enjoyed that meta.
Yeah.
It was quite good. Getting a heart of gold and a philo stone and just 15 wards in your inventory.
It was fun to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Losing
was
it was
definitely...
not fun if you had oracles and the enemy
Yeah.
team had an assassin.
Yeah, just like a heart of gold.
Yeah.
Nunu,
Like,
jungle,
I've
was just
invested
running around.
400 gold
Yeah.
into getting this one item, and if I die, I lose it. And I'm playing Sona. I died a lot, I'll be honest. And right now, RYL trying to find a way back into the game. It's they're still 9,000 gold behind.
Okay.
Clutch have total control here. Close it has got a flank position. Vulcan maybe stepping up a little bit too far. Huni's up towards the top side. It's Clutch just want to look for that second inhibitor. Huni actually has the flank potential and has a lot of poke.
Yeah, they just didn't have line of sight. Vulcan was standing a little bit too far up around this corner here, so they were sitting in fog. We're looking for the hook, but unfortunately for Tolerant, wasn't able to find it.
Well, maybe RYL just going to pull the trigger on a fight. Huni's going to poke in. Essence Flux doesn't quite connect. Oh! That was the skin of your teeth there, Huni. Just able to dodge out from the side of it. And now Clutch once again regain control of the red side jungle. It's pretty easy for them to push RYL back. Well, no vision on the river, no vision on the pit. It's one good ward just by the Razor Beaks, which means they do know if Clutch all back away.
So the 5-man contest has to be the play. Top wave crashing, now being farmed up by Pilot. Rotating over to the play does give Clutch some time. Not willing to just start up a Baron. I say that as Cody.
Starts it up.
He just jumps over the wall, but they're looking for the fight first. But if Royal Youth is not going to give it to him...
Okay, so that Baron's down to 8,000 HP already. Huni on the flank, Damonte there as well. Oh, it's Vulcan actually who's there as well. Doesn't quite hit the hook, but the Baron just chipping away, going lower and lower. The hook doesn't connect from Tolerant either. Here goes Closer, jumping in. The Baron still the target. Closer unable to get the kill. They do get Tolerant in the air, but Closer will fall, and the Baron goes down to Clutch. Now Pilot has to join the fight. He gets onto Huni. Huni tries to jump away, but Pilot finds his man, finds his mark, and now Clutch will be on the retreat. RYL shouldn't be able to chase them too much further, but Clutch get out with 3 Barons alive.
Yes, that singular pick onto Huni, enough to dissuade the push. Resets will come through here from Clutch Gaming. Bottom wave needs to be caught. Dragon also up and available. Cody Sun may have found Tolerant, though, just face-checking.
Yeah, Tolerant's dead. I've said that a lot of times this game. He's struggled sometimes, well, struggled early on to find the hooks, now struggled to position in a way that doesn't get him caught out.
And to do some service to him, right? Blitzcrank, when you're ahead and you sit on pinks, you deny vision, opportunities, they walk towards you, but from behind, you have to be the one to face check here, you have to be the one to place that vision down, and super struggle town here, everything used on the Thresh, and Aftershock cops the brunt of it. Yes, he falls down off the back end, and Pilot is able to find the W, is able to find the one reason why the push didn't come through here from Clutch, and stalls the game out just that little bit longer.
I think the thing for Clutch here is, though, Damonte, Cody Sun, and Lira still have the buff. Lira can be a bodyguard for anyone in a side lane if he wants to sit with Huni. As he pushes in a different lane to the rest of the team, he can do that pretty easily. And RYL, once again, just pen back into their own jungle. Really, even not getting many of their own camps because they've been cleared out by Clutch. 5 dragons strong now, Clutch. Looking for a 6th if they want it. It would be an Infernal, and then the Elder Dragon spawns. Actually, very, very close to when it would have spawned before. 35 minutes, of course, is that Elder Dragon cutoff. So we're just before that for this Infernal.
We're also talking about an Elder Dragon when Baron push coming up. Clutch probably not wanting to extend the game out that far. They have double 80 carry. They have a Mountain Dragon, they have an Infernal. Structures are no consolation here for RYL Youth, as potentially the last push of this day is going to come through. The poke damage is there. The Lantern play once again from Vulcan. Clutch know exactly what they want to do, and the second inhib is under fire.
Mid inhib has respawned. RYL, 5 members strong, trying to look for this defense. So if he can land a good shockwave, it's only onto Cody Sun and really did no damage whatsoever. Seal, not that strong, and now the inhibitor is the target. Huni caught out with a long-range Boy Seeker. Lyra down towards the bottom side of the fight, just acting as a bodyguard for Armut and Closer, and now RYL will rotate to the mid lane as Clutch do exactly the same. Shockwave still a 2/3 of its cooldown away.
And that's the thing, it really cost Clutch nothing to get that inhib. Shockwave, huge cooldown, necessary for a team fight win here for RYL Youth, and it was just a Lantern, it was an Ezreal ulti, a culling. Not the highest prize here.
Down.
There you go.
And now Clutch can just go up towards top. They prepped a wave, it's on its way. Huni was there just a couple of minutes ago, getting it set up for them, and that wave is pushing in. RYL will have to react to a side lane, expect Armut to be down towards that bottom lane as the supers push in. can see how hard it is even for him just to clear out the wave. And look, yeah, just look at how far back cyeol is. Ludens and Banshees, because he had to get that Banshees to avoid Vulcan, and of course avoid Damonte with the knockback, but just means he has no damage yet on this Orianna, not farmed up enough.
And you see immediately, it's the Lucian W. Ardent Blaze actually takes down the shield, so passive, not really useful right now. Second inhib breaking. This has to be the stand here from RYL.
Closer going in. There's the Cataclysm. Lira in the mid lane. Armut on his way across, but Closer's already gone. The hook landed onto Damonte, so he's fallen as well, and now it's a 4v4. Clutch fighting for their position in groups. 2-0 up. Armut forced back to the base. Has to clear out those super minions. Cody Sun stepping forward. Tolerant lands the hook onto Huni. Gets the knock up. Huni almost down. Somehow
Gets him.
Pilot dives into the back line. And that's another kill for RYL. And they've managed to hold on for the moment. But Clutch aren't done yet. Cody Sun, Lira and Vulcan going to push in. Who is clearing out the Nexus towers? It's Armut. Cody Sun and Vulcan and Lira decide they don't want to go any further, and RYL hold on to the game.
2 kills, a pick from Blitzcrank. Clutches on to life here, the Turkish representative. Baron timing out means no minions to play with. Of course, 2 inhibs already dead. The third was not going to be the play. And you were talking about the Dragon. Potential play here from Clutch if they want it. Going to be spawning very close to the next Baron, but...
I mean, the thing is, you still have 3 minutes on mid and bot inhibs, so you could just hard force 5 top again, right? You could just say, in a 5v5, we win the fight, right? Super minions are pushing in the side lanes. Make sure that you have those waves pushed up relatively well, and it becomes quite easy for you here. I think Clutch just go a little bit too far.
Yeah, we'll take another look at what actually happens here. I was saying it has to be the last stand. Closer goes in. Very nice hook from Vulcan. Shepard's in a huge shockwave, and is just going to be the 1-for-1. Surprised Lira didn't go for the flash knock-up onto multiple people, and Huni, that was the reason. Burns his E getting to the inhib. Cannot buffer the hook. Goes down super easily. Tolerant taking advantage of Pilot once again, diving into the backline. Secures the kill, and that is enough to dissuade any further push.
Cody Sun still unkilled this game, though. 7-0-3. This team are 15-4, 16-4, I believe, when he goes deathless, so very difficult to lose a game when your AD carry is as strong as Cody Sun is right now. Pilot jumps in onto Huni. That's the Killer Instinct juice. Scatter the Weak was knocked onto Closer as he was forced away. But now Pilot might just have to flash the wall. Lira could catch him out. Doesn't realize that he's gone the long way round. Pilot will manage to get back to his team without having to burn any of those summoners. Huni caught out once again. Pilot doesn't have the Killer Instinct, so can't dive bomb onto that back line.
Kaiser W doing so much damage, and really the only thing keeping them in right now. Pilot actually monstering on this play. Infernal spawning. Huni's been sent to solo that one out. Bot wave pushing in as well has to be dealt with as the rest of Clutch just walking towards the Baron buff. This damage does not matter to Huni. He's got the lifesteal, he's got the triple Ocean Dragon.
Yeah, Bloodthirster and Blade of the Ruin King giving him well enough lifesteal to secure that. Cody Sun will take the red buff. That's the 6th dragon of the game. 2 Clutch, double Infernal, triple Ocean, single Mountain. I'll take that every day of the week. Not a cloud to be seen. It's a sunny day for Clutch as they are just 1 win away from securing their spot in Worlds groups. The Baron, the target. Clutch will clear out all of this vision as they have done so many times before this series and dive straight onto it. And really, RYL have no way of answering. Look how quickly it goes down. Those double mountains doing a lot of work here for Clutch. That Baron's already gone.
Yep.
And only 1 inhibitor stands between them and victory.
Bot wave pushing in, mid wave pushing in had to be answered, and 6 dragons deep, 10, 12,000 gold lead here for Clutch. Not being able to contest the dragon, or the Baron I should say, from Royal Youth feels like a rough situation. Last inhib has to be the play, but still Jayce dealing with a side lane. 4 versus 5 for at least another 10 seconds here.
Tolerant spotted out with the Redemption. Clutch going to push in towards this top lane inhib. This could be it. This could be the moment they secure their spot in groups. Huni, huge shield on him. Tanks up the Void Seeker Closer. Chunked out, pops the Gargoyles. He has to run away. Tolerant lands the hook onto Huni, but he's going to buff the E to get away. And now Clutch, all inhibitors down, can go towards mid. Bot has just respawned, and mid's going to respawn in a second. So I spoke a little bit too early. Clutch doing this one by the numbers. 36 minutes in, a 12,000 gold lead, and the win in their sights. 2-0 so far this series, just 1 more to go. Mid inhib, their next target, then the Nexus Towers, you have to feel, will be the objective here for Clutch.
They have to find a hook. Tolerant has flash available. Righteous Glory popped. Doesn't throw the hook towards them. Last inhib, gonna go down here.
Third inhib is down. Clutch playing with their food. The scatter of the week knocks Tolerant back, and now Clutch, 5 members strong, will look for the end. Shockwave just flashed away from there. The first Nexus Tower is the target already. It's down. Damonte gonna get taken quite low, but Armut is the first one to fall. Goes into the GA. Pilot dives onto the backline, but immediately he hears focus down. Damonte kills Armut. Clutch kill RYL, and this is the moment that Clutch secure their spot in Worlds Groups in convincing fashion. They will make it to the World Group stage.
And the third game, almost a victory lap here for Clutch. Ezreal top, double 80 carry. Cody Sun having a massive series here and in commanding fashion, as you mentioned. Super dominant here from Clutch Gaming, a team that went into the group stage of play-ins, had some doubts, but well and truly silenced here in the playoff bracket.
Yeah, silenced every single critic. I don't think many people said they'd go 3-0, 3-1 was on the edge. I don't think anyone thought they would do it in such convincing fashion. The same methodology every single game. They played impeccably this series, and now Worlds Groups awaits them for the first time ever for the majority of this team. Of course, Huni has been there before, Cody Sun as well, but Vulcan, Lira, and Damonte will be making their first groups appearance.
And you have to give shouts out to RYL Youth, still doing the huddle, smiles on their faces at the end of the day. Tough series, but valiant competitor here at the World's play-in stage, making it all the way to the best-of-5 format. Unfortunately, not going to be their day, as Clutch high-fiving the fans on their way to group stage.
Yeah, I think for RYL, this is a growth opportunity, right? When you've replaced Supermassive as the #1 team in Turkey, and they've had so much legacy and history behind them, losing to the #3 NA seed in knockouts isn't the biggest of disappointments. Obviously, on the day, it's going to sting. Obviously, you're going to think, what I could have done better. But for RYL Youth, this is the first in a long set of steps towards hopefully the World's Group stage.
Taking down storied players as well, and yeah, young roster. Best of 5 went the whole distance in the TCL, 3-2 victory over Supermassive. So in terms of an end of season run, absolutely huge here from the Turkish representative.
We're going to have another look at how Cody Sun and Vulcan really dominated this game. You can see a lot of it was off playing around that hook from Tolerant and Vulcan just being in the right place.
Flash Flay onto 2 lanterns forward, and I mentioned it in the cast, but Cody Sun just getting to hold his E at the back end of this one. And it was time and time again. You can see the highlight on the man right now. Hex Flash. Behind the minion is the Thresh, and predicting the hook as he's casting. Super clutch play, for a lack of a better word, for their support here. And yeah, monster series overall, I think, for the bottom lane here for Clutch. It's not something you talk about. The team likes to play topside, but ending on this kind of victory, hugely impactful for their confidence.
Definitely going to give Cody Sun and Vulcan a lot of confidence coming into the end of it. Of course, the team as a whole played very well. I think you can highlight individual stars from each game. And I think that'll be great for Clutch. It wasn't just the Huni show. It wasn't just playing through top lane. It wasn't Damonte coming into team fights and playing well. It was all about how they synergized as a 5-man roster. And coming into groups, that's a very good sign.
And that is the thing, right? It's not the individuals just winning this game. It really was a cohesive effort. Depending on the game you watch, it's the attack on the jungle, it's the attack on the lanes, but everything working together here and trending on the upwards.
Definitely was. Of course, commiserations to RYL. They'll be back, I'm sure, for MSIs and Worlds in the future. That's their hope. Take a lot of confidence going back to the Turkish scene. For now, though, we're going to focus on Clutch, as we've got Huni standing by for an interview.
Thank you very much, guys, and congratulations, Huni, for reaching group stage. So I'm confused now. At the beginning of the series, you told me we should expect a close fight. So was it them underperforming, or did you just play better than expected?
I think for sure we're playing better, you know, because it's like we were actually not also for us, like we were not expecting that it's going to be like 3-0, as I mentioned it before the pregame, because it's like they're actually a pretty good team and they know how to play the game. And as a team, they're just like helping each other good enough to like actually make the team play. And that was like most thing that like that's why we actually play versus them a lot in practice. We actually lost a lot, so. But I think we're like also confident at the same time, like kind of like unpredictable. I think we improved a lot compared to like last 2 weeks.
Do you think it was a mistake to let you play Rumble?
Yeah, I mean, if I really had to say about the Rumble, yeah, I mean, you know, my Rumbles is like almost is gonna be undefeated unless like they're actually playing well around it, or they need a like something special strategy like versus my Rumble. That's what I feel. But for sure, like Rumbles at the moment, you know, it's like one of my most comfortable pick.
All right. Well, could you explain something about the draft in Game 3 because you had Lucian and Ezreal? We know you can play Lucian top lane. You decided to go with Ezreal on the top lane. I feel like it's not such a good lane matchup against Jayce. So can you explain the choice?
I feel like right now the meta it doesn't really matter about top lane, the having prior middle game. Early game probably does not matter because about the really kind of jungle. But I think the Ezreal is kind of it's just middle game. But at the same time as soon as it hit 15-minute or 60-minute, that champion is so strong. Scales pretty well. Middle game one of the strongest a champion, one of it. At the same time, if I'm playing I'm just gonna win.
I want to talk about the meta before you were mentioning it. We saw 78 different champions so far in picks or bans. We know that the meta often changes through the tournament. So what is your take on the meta right now based on the expectations you had before the tournament?
Actually, I didn't expect it this much. I didn't really expect that this is gonna be crazy this much as right now because even I play top Ezreal, no one is expecting it, even on stage, and they're playing so much stuff, non-AD carry on the bottom too. There was a timer dinger, field stake, was crazy that everything I think is really unpredictable, and I don't think there's gonna be a better team no matter what. But for sure, I think there's a lot of possibility we can see with this tournament. It's gonna be happening. There's a lot big upset who actually being underdog that they're gonna actually win, even though they're a better team, because there's so many things that is unpredictable.
Looking forward now. For all we know, you could end up in Group C, so meeting your ex-team SKT. I know you have a revenge to take on them.
Actually, I made the group stage. It's gonna be fun. Versusing, especially Reckless and Faker probably. They were especially they were actually my former teammates. And also, I wanna revenge the Khan. Last time I lost, but I gotta win again. It's gonna be fun. No matter what, it's gonna be fun.
You think you could pick Fiora as a power move against him and just stomp him with it?
I mean, depends on champion, right? The Fiora actually they buff, so it's gonna be pretty. I was really happy that they actually buff it because it's if you get the good matchup, no matter what, you're gonna be actually smurfing entire the map. So I like that happen because the top becomes more stronger, but probably top Ezreal is better,
We'll see about that in a few days. Now, can you give some positive words to the NA fan? Because we know NA can sometimes be a joke in group stage. So what can we expect from you guys?
Right now, actually, through the today, NA actually did better job than LCK, which is we get the 3-0, but Damonte Gaming got the 3-1, We already confirmed that NA third seed is better than LCK third seed.
Nice. Oh. You made a fan really happy. Thank you very much, Huni. And to wrap up this day, let's send it over to Cooldown.